Stand by for the opening night of the National Television Service.
No,
we're good.
I
Okay, ask
legitimate
your question again.
What is it? So, does it give you an urgency to buy? Like when you see like a historical thing, do you think that like, oh, this is the one time, this is the one opportunity I have to get this exact coin. This coin has a story, and I'm going to purchase that story and be a piece of the story. As where if you let's just say goodbye to that purchase, it's different than if you walked away from like a Gucci bag where they'll just fucking make another one. This is like someone in Rome used this coin to like buy water, and it was exchanged hundreds of times until someone died holding it, and then we found it, and that's like the continuation of their story. Is it something like that?
Yes to the second part, not so much to the first part. I don't think I think about the rarity of it. Actually, I know that for a fact. I don't think about the rarity because there's some coins that'll cost like it'll cost $100 because it's of rare mint, and then there's a coin that'll cost $100 because it's from the 1700s and it's in good condition. You know what I mean? And I feel an immense amount of joy if I have a fucking badass coin that cost me $10 rather than I have a 1 of 100 coin that cost me that was worth $500. You know what I mean? That the inherent the value because of rarity.
Restate the topic for the audience.
Okay. I bought a bunch of. I worked 8 hours of overtime on Saturday and immediately blew it at an antique shop. Immediately, like Megan and I always look for fun things to go and do. Yeah. She's like, "Hey Zach, why don't we go?" We like going to like thrift stores or antique shops. Sometimes she goes, "Oh, why don't we go to a coin store?" I was like, "I can't afford to go to coin stores because it's the one genuine weakness that I have." I like, and I think part of what makes it my weakness is it's not like getting takeout or buying new clothes or something like that, whereas that it's a depreciating value. In the back of my head, and I know this is like a lot of people use this to rationalize things that aren't like necessarily real, but they do hold some value. It's not like I'm not gonna buy a shirt and then I'm not buying. Sometimes you can buy like really nice clothes and then resell it. That's not.
You can.
Jewelry too. Exactly. Like whenever I buy Megan, like whenever it's an anniversary or something, I usually end up buying her jewelry because in the back of my head I'm like it's something that has a value. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like you can pick it up, and I feel the same way about purchasing things. Like if you buy a gold ring from any like what is it? If you buy a gold ring that costs $1,000, there's like $500 worth of gold in that fucker. It's not like you're not throwing it away like completely. You are when you buy an Italian suit where there's $20 worth of raw materials in the whole $2,000 suit or something like that.
Right. So that's in the back of my head is like that's how I coax myself into it. But for me, it's less about.
Is you're like I could throw this up on eBay comparable amount if I'm like or I could just bring it back to the guy and sell and he's still gonna buy it. It's still valuable.
Right. Even if I sold it for half of what I paid for it, it's something. Whereas I couldn't sell that 3-piece suit for like. I'd have a hard time selling a used suit. Exactly.
Yes.
But I guess my appreciation for something isn't necessarily because of its rarity. It's because of the historic event that it's tied to or something like that. So, and granted, sometimes that makes something more rare. Like an older coin is generally going to be rare because there's less of them, but that's not inherently why I like it. I just like things that are tied to a historical.
I'm going to start with Korean barbecue.
No, start with we're going to start with this. This is so off topic.
I wasn't trying to interrupt. No. I wanted you to keep talking. I was just going to review the jerky as you did it. I think that's like a vibe there.
This is an impromptu.
Can we get some chewing ASMR?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll chew it up for you. Oh, first, okay. So, oh my God, which way do you open it? Now I look like a pussy who can't open shit.
That's a sexist comment.
Like
I use my teeth.
Oh man.
Oh, we were talking. This is something else I wanted to bring up.
Look at you, Mr. Dental Insurance.
It's a bag. Megan, okay, remember we were talking about the toothbrush thing? About like how Megan thinks it's gross to share a toothbrush, whereas it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
I use, like, if we get one of those pre-made salad kits, I use my teeth. I wouldn't do this if we had guests, but when it's just me and Megan, I'll use my teeth to open up all those bags and then dump everything into a bowl. And she thinks that's really gross, and it doesn't bother me at all. And it wouldn't bother me if she did it. If you and Lily were having a salad kit, would you be grossed out if Lily used her teeth to tear it?
No.
Okay.
I wouldn't. I think there's differences to like the illusion you want to uphold, right? So, like,
What do you like to your partner?
to your partner, where there's some, it's just like, oh yeah, we know each other fully. Like, I trust you enough to still love me, even if you saw me taking a shit, but I still don't want that level of intimacy with you. I'm still just happy by myself in there, So I feel like part of it is like that, where there are some couples who are like, oh yeah, just, like, open the door, keep talking to me, shit away. And there are some couples that are like, oh no, I don't want to shit in front of you, And I think it's related to that. Because I feel like I'm a little more the, like, let's not shit in front of each other party, metaphorically speaking.
Wait, what do you mean metaphorically? It's kind of literal.
Well, it's kind of literal, but I guess we're not
never
usually
mind, I take it back.
arguing
It's
this over
completely
shit.
literal.
It's totally lifted from a real conversation. I just wanted to be more flattering to my partner.
Oh, okay.
But, like, as where she's like, no, it's not really like going to shit, but it's like, yeah, if you're taking like a piss, it's just like, yeah, leave the door open, let's keep talking, And I'm like, oh no, I like preserving this illusion that we have going on. We're like, we just adjourn to the bathroom and then come back out, So I get that there's like differences like that, right? And I feel like it's the same illusion, like, ew, your mouth, that's gross. Even though it's like, yeah, if you actually get down to brass tacks about the germs that it's spreading, it's not that gross by comparison to other things.
I don't know if this is like mean or not. I remember making that comment, and I was 100% making fun of your OCD.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine.
So I
I'm not diagnosed.
didn't know you took it literally.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I wasn't gonna.
ew,
Like,
gross.
Yeah,
you
it's
touch it with
not-
your
it's not-
mouth because you're so fucking weird about stuff sometimes.
My
Okay.
joke was gonna be Adderall induced, not it wasn't happening to
Like,
you.
I don't actually care.
Sometimes I wonder if it's misdiagnosed as ADHD, but I also really hate when people are like, "Oh, OCD," and so I, with all of my being, do not want to be that. You know what I mean? I hate when people are like, "Oh, I'm so OCD," yada yada yada. Same thing with ADHD. Really,
I think-
dude, it annoys me whenever someone acts like a mental illness is cute. It's so obnoxious. I like. Maybe this isn't the high horse I want to get on, but it's so. It's like it would be like.
Speaking of cute, yummy.
Um.
Well, we got
Right now.
Oh, okay, fine.
Oh, is that the?
That's the silica. That's the tastiest part. That's my favorite part of the jerky. Can't eat that around Megan, apparently. Got 2 more left, though.
You broke it.
I don't know.
That'd
That I
make
wouldn't
great
breathe
content.
in.
Dumbass eats, do not eat. Can like baggy?
No, silica gel will kill you in a horrifying way, but I just didn't.
Well, what'll happen?
It'll like
Do you know what'll
suffocate. It's silica's really hydrophobic.
Oh,
I
is
believe
it
so.
like-
When you inhale it, it'll like coat your lungs in this way where you'll like drown in the silica that's in your lungs. So it's, I think, no expert, but it's something like it's so. No. It's the opposite. It's not hydrophobic. It's so water attractive that if you breathe it in, it will totally dehydrate all the cells in your lungs that are used for respiration and completely destroy you.
Right. No, there's a word.
I think.
Hydroscopic. Hydro.
It's not hydrophobic, right? It's hydro.
Brake fluid is that way. Hydro. I'm not gonna remember the word.
Okay, so it says silica dust particles become trapped in lung tissue, causing inflammation and scarring. The particles also reduce the lung's ability to take in oxygen. This condition is called silicosis. Silicosis results in permanent lung damage and is a progressive, debilitating, and sometimes fatal disease.
I wonder if it's the same as I think it's called silica when you cut concrete and then breathe in the dust. Is that the same thing?
I wonder if that's where the expression comes from, because it's concrete was invented, during Latin times. So I wonder if there's some expression. But concrete was invented by the Romans, so maybe some expression that applies to concrete is also like a root word that might apply to silica gel. I have some. Have you heard of aerogel before?
Sounds like a lube.
No, I didn't actually. I was gonna say that, but I didn't like how what speech was it? You were all my opal speech. I didn't like how y'all laughed at my opal speech.
It made a good clip.
Zachary,
I'm not
you
gonna
are
bring out my
correct.
aerogel.
Materials like sandstone, concrete, and mortar contain crystalline silica.
So same word?
Yeah,
Silica?
Silica. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So you were right. That's what you
OSHA
would get
30,
from.
baby.
It's also used in products such as glass, pottery, ceramic, bricks, and artificial stone.
Okay, cool. So back to the coin thing. I bought less cool coins and I bought more. I bought a fuck ton of cool buttons. I also like collecting. I like fossils. I like some gemstones. Not a lot of gemstones. Mostly fossils, coins, and buttons. Specifically, I like presidential campaign buttons a lot.
Do you specifically stop yourself from, shout out by the way, not sponsored, do you specifically stop yourself from going on that mini museum website I sent you because you'll just spend a whole
I don't
paycheck?
remember.
Have I? Oh my God, I'm about to do your bank account.
Just
so
describe
dirty.
it.
So it's like this guy, I have one. It's that thing I have. The thing I have. You know the thing?
Yeah, actually, I think I do.
You
The
do
thing has the
actually-
one little tiny
With the
thing and a
bunch of
stuff.
little circles of displays.
like
where
a
it's
piece of Abraham Lincoln's cabin.
Yeah, exactly. Piece of Abraham
Yeah.
Lincoln's cabin, piece of like the first club the Beatles performed at and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That website that has, if you wanted to, which maybe should be I'll get it for you sometime. You can get a whole Tyrannosaurus Rex tooth for $9,000 on that website.
That much? How big is the tooth?
It's from a Tyrannosaurus Rex, man. Like, pretty fucking big.
I have a Spinosaurus tooth,
Oh, that's pretty sick.
but it's only that big. Maybe it's the tip of the tooth. Maybe
No,
that's
this
what it
is like you can see the molars. It's like
Oh
that
wow,
big. It's
that's
like
gnarly. How much was it?
On 9,000, and for only I googled this because I was like, you can get the tooth, huh? So I googled whole T-Rex skull, 150,000.
Wow.
So my watch point
That's
from
gnarly.
last episode, the idea that you could purchase a watch that cost $150,000 or purchase a Tyrannosaurus Rex skull, that's where my problem comes in.
No, yeah, stuff like that I think is amazing.
Yeah.
There's a fossil store down in Florida that I went to, and I was walking around, and they had a mammoth leg for like $500, and I was almost like, I could own a mammoth leg.
You're like, bro, I'm just...
I almost bought a mammoth leg, but then
Hey, Scott, remember you wanted someone to cover your shift?
Yeah, right. Well, my problem was I started thinking, I flew there, and I was like thinking about taking that on the airplane, and I thought it wasn't realistic. And also, it was $500. I didn't like...
How big was it?
I guess I shouldn't say it was a whole mammoth leg. It was like a part of its leg, and it was like...
Was it
like,
a femur?
I doubt
Wait,
it.
so was it a femur or was it
Femur the
something
biggest bone?
petrified? Was it like fur and stuff?
No, well, I don't think it was a petrified.
So
thing.
rather, was it like frozen? Was it a fossil?
It was a fossil.
It was a fossil. Okay,
fossilized
gotcha.
bone. And it was maybe the size of my torso, from what I remember, something like that. So maybe it wasn't the whole leg, but it looked like a whole bone. Like, bones get big on the ends.
Yeah, I mean, it's
looked
like the
a complete bone.
quadriceps, where the quadriceps a muscle, but if it's one of the foreleg bones, then that's like.
Or maybe it was a baby mammoth bone.
Oh yeah, or
something
maybe
like
maybe
that.
it's a little guy. That's kind of cute.
Yeah.
Have you been to that it's like a rock store mostly, but they also do fossils and
Kirkland?
stuff down south? No, not the waterfront one. It's down south. I think it's in like Renton or something like that. They've got a whole polar bear skull there on display.
Is it the one where they have a bunch of street signs that say Rock and Gem Show this way?
Yes.
I haven't been there. I've seen their signs though.
They have a whole. I think it's like $30,000 or something. Where they have a entire. No, it's not a polar bear. It's an ancient bear. So they have like the saber-toothed tiger equivalent of a bear, and it's fucking enormous. It's from when mammals were bigger. So it's like taller than I think a polar bear skeleton would be, and it's cool.
Would you buy a human skull? 'Cause I've thought that would be very cool to have.
So that's
An
where I think we
actual human
disagree a
skull.
little bit. It's like, yes, I would buy it broadly. People, what is it? I mean,
What makes
the way
you-
I think about things is that people are already buying them for medical purposes. You can buy a display human skull. It's one of those things where I really do think about I think it's that for me. It's like I would think about the gravity of it every time I picked it up.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what's amazing about it.
but it's an amazing thing. Like, would I like to hold a human skull? Yes. But would I feel good about myself for the novelty of like, oh man, this was an entire person. I got one of these. I could end up on someone's table someday. Like, less, not even like I'm uncomfortable by it, just I find personally less appeal. It feels a little bit like
evil, like owning.
It feels
Nazi
a little bit like
memorabilia,
evil.
or
Like if I were to say like,
some
yeah, it's like if I had
slavery thing.
servants or something like that, where I'm just looking at like the novelty of this person's entire life.
That's way different.
Well, I guess it's more like
You're not harming the person.
you're not
anymore.
harming no, completely agree. It's not like actual like non-consensual forced labor.
But
like
it's
that.
like having Nazi memorabilia, or it's
Which
like,
you have. I just want to point that out.
would I have what?
You have Nazi memorabilia.
I don't have Nazi memorabilia. I have what do I have? I
A
have
coin and postage stamps.
I do have a postage stamp with Hitler's face on it. Yeah, have I shown you that?
also
You did. No,
have
you should. It was one of our
bills
Oh, I
episodes.
did.
That's
Okay,
why I'm
dude.
Depictions
Fucking
of slaves.
crazy, insane.
This
Your
coin
slave
thing
bills?
is
But
known
I'm more
to our
talking about when
fans.
someone has like medals. Like if someone has like the I'm not gonna get the terminology right, but like the Iron Eagle or something like that. There's a difference between having. Okay, I'm like trying to rationalize owning.
no, but like, so I will in a sound bite.
I didn't go looking for it.
In a soundbite that I will regret later, I understand it's the difference between owning something and celebrating it is different than owning something and appreciating the novelty of it, which is an expression I've been using a lot. But
I think that's a good way of looking at it. I think there's also
it's
and
like you're not like, oh man, they just had a different way of doing things. You're just like,
Right,
dude,
right,
this
right.
guy was fucked up and I got some of his shit. Like,
right. Well, and there's
it's not that deep, right?
not that I'm too good for this because I think I would be interested in owning evil historical artifacts just because I can ogle it. So like in the same way that someone ogles at a painting, I like ogling at historical artifacts, even if they're evil, and just like getting
I've heard
lost
that-
in my own thoughts.
I've heard, and this isn't, I don't
Can I
think it's
finish
true.
my thought really quick?
Finish.
The example I was gonna say is that owning like I have stamps with Adolf on them, and I have a coin. I
Adolf
have
who?
Adolf Hitler.
Oh, gotcha. Keep going. I didn't like how I laughed after that. Like I should. Adolf Hitler.
And I have a coin that has a swastika on it. There's a difference between that and then owning like a signed copy of Mein Kampf. Like there's a level of, and same thing with like the Iron Eagle or something. There's something about like,
It feels like the difference of saying like, I am historic. I have a historic respect for some of the work Dave Chappelle put in to become a renowned comedian at a young age versus I love everything Dave Chappelle says. That guy just can't get it wrong.
I think that is
Maybe it's
too,
different.
too wild. I was more going for regardless of whether or not you agreed with the things that Adolf Hitler was doing in the 1940s, you needed stamps when you were in Germany. You needed money when you were in Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
Whereas if you had a signed copy of Mein Kampf or you had the Iron Eagle, that's something that was earned through participation in the evil acts. You know what I mean?
I'll take that. Yeah,
Versus this is just something that was in that world. And I'm not saying I'm
it's the
too good
difference
to buy those
between
things.
I used oil to drive around versus I used oil to make $1 billion off of like polluting the planet.
I don't think we need to come up with an analogy. I think it speaks for itself.
That's a first. You love analogies.
I do.
man.
I like it when I'm confused. It helps me personally break things down. Like if I have a really hard time deciding how I feel about something, I have to rationalize it to something else that I feel like.
I've been doing that more and more recently. I do feel like I don't want to say it's an entirely bad habit because I feel like it can be good, but I feel like sometimes it can work in an argument when you're trying to convince a room of something, but I think sometimes it can be bad for when you're trying to achieve individual understanding with someone. So I have a habit of doing that too with like Lil. Whenever we're like having an argument about something, I'll liken it to something else, and it'll sound way worse. It'll sound like I'm really accusing her of being in like the moral wrong, when in reality I'm just trying to say like, no, the way that you typically think about things is like X, Y, and Z, and this feels like Z, Y, and X. It feels different, and that's what I'm trying to point out. But it always comes across as like the most extreme. Like we'll be talking about things, and I'll be like, oh yeah, well, like you can't use that train of reasoning. That's the same train of reasoning like all the Fox News guys use. I'll be like, you can't use that train of reasoning. That's the same train of reasoning all the Fox News guys use. And it'll sound like you are one of the Fox News guys. Fuck you, you're wrong. When in reality, it's just like, no, we don't believe in that though, hun. So it's like, why are you believing in this thing when in 95% of other circumstances you believe in this thing? And I guess I find that it is a bad habit because it generally conveys the wrong message. Like I disagree with you way more than I actually do. Well,
Megan, you can turn the volume on that knob above the bass all the way down, and that won't be a problem anymore because we're not pulling audio from the computer. So I'm going to show you some cool things. Okay?
Oh, please.
Cool.
Hit me.
Okay, so first one, this is my favorite one. I'm going to start from the top because I don't know. That's how I'm doing it. So the first, I'm
not because of like story structure, just because I fucking want to.
Yeah. I'm trying not to point this at camera. So I have a presidential campaign button.
Who's Cameron?
Campaign.
You're not trying to point it at Cameron.
Oh, sorry, Megan. Sorry, I'm
Cameron.
Camera. For fuck's sake.
The bit's finally working, Zach. You're finally convincing her that you're cheating on her.
Yeah, right. Okay, maybe this will help. There we go. Yeah, there. So it's a presidential campaign button for Theodore Roosevelt from the year 1900.
Epic rap battles of history!
Isn't that fucking sick?
It's so cool that it's like sun bleached too. Like you can see the
I really like there's a lot of campaign buttons that are just words. I really like the ones with photos. I think photos is what really makes it cool. I will slap the shit out of you. But dude, 124 years ago, Teddy Roosevelt. Wild, right? You can set it down over there.
Do you think he handed it to someone?
No. He probably never touched that.
This is a Bull Moose button. This is from when he was trying to do his own political party too, maybe. Because it's 1900, and I think the 1900 election was he was no longer running as the Republican. He gave the Republican nominee up to Taft, who tried to run it, or he didn't give it up. He didn't want to give it up to Taft, but he gave it. Taft had it, so he ran against Taft, and that's how Woodrow Wilson won. I think. No, actually, I don't think Teddy Roosevelt could have been our. Woodrow Wilson won because of some kind of party split. It might. No, it's probably the after effect from Teddy Roosevelt's Bull Moose Party. Anyway, very interesting piece of like American history regardless. Like that's like, yeah. I love holding a thing that it's like a picture is 1,000 words. It's like this is more than 1,000 words.
That was on someone's shirt.
Yeah.
125 years ago. Yes, Megan?
Because
Speaking of the parties being split, is anyone else terrified that about the Democratic Party being split right now?
I'm not terrified. I'm actually.
I don't care. I don't know what's going on, and I don't.
I feel like Zach, you personally would. I mean, I think
American politics is boring. I like global politics.
I don't find American politics to be boring. I find it to be frustrating how people repeat a generic opinion like it's their opinion.
For me, it's more. There's a lot less posturing in global politics than there is in American internal politics.
I would disagree with that. I would say politics is all posturing. They're just sometimes better at it, or they're posturing differently.
Okay.
Other places.
Posturing is the wrong word.
There are countries that I think are have more soft power, and they're really trying to advocate for a philosophy. But even then, what is it? Justin Trudeau, the Canadian Prime Minister, wants Canada to be this progressive, peaceful utopia that can kind of moderate discussions between other world powers, but also totally has an agenda of his own where he really wants to preserve oil infrastructure. So even though he talks about having this utilitarian, diverse community, which is a good thing, he's still very indebted to Canadian oil politics. So he has to do this posturing like we're going into the future together, when in reality, he's just propped up by the same big oil tycoons that American politicians are.
Okay, posturing is not the word I'm looking for. And when I say geopolitics, I'm not talking about.
But you can find a discipline of politics more interesting, just flat out. It doesn't have to be, because of X, Y, and Z.
what you just described is mostly just internal politics to Canada. When I say geopolitics, I mean different countries like interacting with each other in the way of like America, Taiwan, and China, or Ukraine and Russia, or I mean a lot of just global trade with like Yemen and stuff like that. So when I or Israel and Palestine.
Yeah.
So when I say geopolitics and there being less posturing, what I'm specifically referring to is in America, every a bunch of people say X, Y, Z, and then nothing really happens. Whereas when it comes to wars between different countries and like conflicts between different countries, there are hard acts of this actually happened. They might be posturing like they're going to go to war, but there are people who are actually launching missiles at each other. There are people that are actually invading other countries, and so
Do you find
when
it's the
So when I say less posturing, that might not be completely accurate, but there's like with the politics within a country, there's a lot of everything's spun in a different way. It's a lot harder to spin when X entered Y's country. You know what I mean? It's way more like there's actual concrete physical things that are happening. Whereas within inter-country politics, it's a lot more verbal and hard to know what's real.
So I agree and disagree. Part of my political science brain just tells me to think that we have a more unified understanding of what's going on in other countries because of the information that comes in from other countries. We have a less unified understanding of what is going on within our own country because of all the spin.
I would say that's just what I said, yeah.
So, okay, fair enough. I guess I would say that it's less, though, about when my brain says that, it's like there's nothing intrinsically more interesting about international politics. It's just the perspective that we get
to believe.
fed. It's easier to believe because we only get fed one perspective.
That's not true. If Ukraine's telling us one thing, Russia's telling us one thing.
Yeah, but
Palestine's telling us one thing, Israel's telling us one thing.
Don't go into the other one, but Russia and Ukraine were fairly unified. It's not like don't want to go in. We have the same agreement. I'm just going to get angry for a while in a non-funny way if it's the other one. But I would say that like Russia and Ukraine, we have a pretty unified understanding of who we support. Like it's the news that we get fed, which I'm not saying is untrue, but the news that we get fed is Russia bombing Ukraine, Russia bad guy. Russia, in my opinion, Russia bad guy, just so we know. But it's like the things that we get fed, I think, are so unified about these things that we don't have this discourse where, as in internal politics, half of us are getting fed like, oh, the left is taking over, and half of us are getting fed like, you know, oh, hate crimes constantly being perpetrated on the right. I think that we are fed a more unified understanding of what is going on internationally, and that makes it seem more concrete.
What I'm trying to say is, like, if you get into an argument with someone, you can talk about the argument from everyone's perspective and like the nuances of tone and history and all that. If someone gets into a fight, someone swung first, someone kicked someone's ass. It's a lot easier to look at a fight on a video and come to an agreement about what happened versus listen to a recording of an argument and then have that same agreement. Do you see what I'm trying to get at?
I just disagree with what you're saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I think that when you see a fight on video, I think you can take different videos of different parts of the fight and tell different stories.
Okay, I'm not saying that you can't spin it. I'm saying if you have all the context of an argument, you have all the context of a physical fight.
You have to be wrong. I think I'm just going off of what you're saying with my own thoughts. I'm not rebuking you with my thoughts. I'm just saying... I'm just continuing the conversation. I feel like we keep doubling back to no. But what I mean is I know what you mean.
Well,
I'm just trying to elaborate.
You should comment on what I'm saying instead of talking about something completely different because it sounds like you're commenting on what I'm saying. If I say something in a conversation, I would expect you to somewhat reply to what I just said. And so when you say something, it feels like...
I feel like for this show, if we're really getting into the internal politics of this, I feel as though there's some level where I'm like, oh, that was a cool thing you just said to the audience. Here's another cool thing I thought of that kind of stems from
You didn't say that. You didn't comment on mine at all. You just said
I guess I think that should go unspoken sometimes, or I assume it goes unspoken sometimes because we have pretty good unspoken understanding of a lot of things. Apparently not. But no, I'm just saying, like, I really don't disagree with you in any of those ways. Or I guess I do disagree.
You just said that you did.
I do fully disagree about the like fighting thing. I think thinking that one side comes out like when you see a video of someone swinging first. I agree. You can make some assumption. You can use that as a lot of evidence towards a big story.
I'm not talking about deciding whether someone's good or bad. I'm saying someone could say, this dude said that, and another dude can say, no, I didn't. Whereas, okay, he's saying this guy bombed me, and then we can see that either they did bomb someone or they didn't bomb someone. So I'm not talking about like good or bad. I'm talking about it's easier to prove whether or not someone blew something up than it is to say that guy said XYZ. Like it's harder to lie. I'm not talking that you can spin the cause for why the physical thing happened, but you can look at the physical thing and there's independent journalists that can say, hey, this is what I'm seeing with my eyes, versus with conversations, you're just taking people's words for it.
Yeah.
And so it's much more digestible to me because there is some inherent truth behind this is what's on the ground physically happening versus arguing about what someone did or didn't say.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of like evidence versus like rhetoric, I guess. Like you just dislike that like political rhetoric.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of that in inner it's almost all that in inner like country politics. It's almost all rhetoric. You know what I mean?
Well, here's one thing that I feel like this is maybe this is a bit of a leap.
Domestic, that's the word I should be using. Sorry, continue.
This is a bit of a leap, but I feel like it's maybe a way that you and I are fundamentally different. Where I kind of want to talk about it. I feel like if I can't remember this, you just have to go on to your next button because I killed us in the Teddy Roosevelt direction. You you get frustrated when people make a big like earlier when you were talking about when people, I'm trying not to misquote you in a bad way, like
just try.
When people make a big show of when people act like their mental health issues are cute instead of debilitating. When people are like, oopsie, I'm so ADHD, I'm so OCD, when you were talking about how that frustrates you, I kind of get frustrated in the opposite direction where I'm like, man, why does that they're just saying the same bullshit that we all say bullshit to get by. Some people it's how's the weather going? Some people it's tee-hee, I'm so OCD. Like that's where my frustration kind of comes by. It's like, why? Like for them to waste their time saying that, I agree is a waste of time. But for you to waste your time getting mad at that, I think is the greater waste of time. So I'm not pointing out a moral failing. I think that it's an interesting difference. And I feel like that discussion around international politics, that kind of hard evidence versus just like rhetorical evidence kind of demonstrates a bit of that. I don't know why that's the exact transition I went down. That's just where I kind of stemmed off of.
I mean, it's similar to like everyone has a thing that they have a hard time joking about because of the way that it's impacted their lives personally.
Yeah.
If someone survived 9/11, they're probably not going to laugh at a 9/11 joke. You know what I mean? Or at least it's going to be a lot harder to make them laugh at a 9/11 joke. There's nothing like, okay, there are funny things about mental illness. Being quirky and cute about it isn't inherently funny. It's not inherently cute.
Yeah.
There's not like, you're just being obnoxious. And you're probably lying. Here's the thing. Most of them don't actually like, they're just using a word that's trendy. And this is totally like getting upset at like a 9/11 joke if you survive 9/11. And I also feel the way of you can make jokes about things that are painful for some people to think about. I think that's fine. Yeah. There are funny things about mental illness. The quirkiness isn't cute to me, and it isn't like you're not saying something funny. You're just being obnoxious in my brain.
Well, that's the exact same thing I would. Well, I agree. I agree with that. I guess where my brain goes is, yes, that is obnoxious. But everyone's got their own little way to be obnoxious. If it's not, it's like, what is it like? I know, it's just the same thing. If someone's like at the dinner table and they're like, tee-hee, my OCD, got to make sure all the plates are right, versus like, tee-hee, let's all say grace beforehand. Like, both are fucking annoying and both are for no reason, in my opinion. But it's like, why would I give more respect to one than the other just because you like believe in it more? Like,
because it personally makes me think of all the bad
things. I guess for strangers.
And so it frustrates me. Just like with like another traumatic event.
Well,
like 9/11.
That's what makes me like, Well, that's what makes me a little confused about how, I don't want to say confused, because it feels like a hypocrisy I think about with people who like to joke about everything, are very, or what was the phraseology used? I don't want to put words in your mouth. Feel as though you can make jokes about things that are upsetting to other people.
That are painful. Yeah, sure.
And painful to other
Yeah.
people. Fucking chewing on this
Yeah, you
turkey
gotta
jerky. Yeah, I gotta fucking swallow.
Do you like it? I
It's
I
not
don't
bad.
like it. I think it's really dry.
I don't. It is pretty dry. That's why I'm still chewing on it. But it's
You're gonna take it down with some fucking alcohol, or is that just seltzer?
it's something. But
Wash the dry ass turkey jerky down with some probably vodka. Is it really turkey jerky? Yeah, I think it's bad. Oh, Julian, that was the silica.
Oh, fuck. Wait, but if the jerky's here, then... Uh-oh. No, I feel as though that frustration at, like, what is it? People who are like, you should... People who feel
It's
as
dry,
though,
bro.
It's fucking
It's
dry,
incredibly
man.
dry.
I can't even make my point. This shit is dry. Review Alberto turkey jerky, fucking teriyaki flavor. Dry as fuck. Horrible jerky to make while you're giving a hot take.
Next season of Hot Ones, just fucking dry.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's
jerky.
do dry ones. That's us.
Yeah, I'll just show my
Is it
girlfriend's
just
pussy. No, I'm
10
kidding.
is a Popeyes biscuit. 9 is your girlfriend's pussy.
No, 10's just sand.
I'm sorry, Megan. But
It's
yeah.
actually silica.
10 is just
It's just those
silica.
packets. It's like, do it.
Let's see you do this 10 times over.
Come on,
Let's
Sean
see-
Evans.
Come on, Sean Evans.
Dry ones.
You're not eating silica gel, bro.
No, okay, this is dry ones. We bring out increasingly rough surfaces that you have to rub your dick against. Like, it gets worse and more dry and more tacky. And, like, instead of milk, we have just, like,
It's just aloe. It's just a big,
Astroglass.
just a big tub of fuckable aloe. Yeah, I like that.
It's like, you haven't used any aloe. He's like, I'm a professional.
So back to politics.
Wait, can we just see more buttons? I feel bad. I feel like I did this.
You did
And now I'm
this?
forced to listen to you guys talk about fucking politics. I asked if anyone else was scared about the fact that the Democratic Party is split right now.
Oh, yeah, you did do this.
I
This
did
is
do
your
this,
fault.
yes. And then Julian was just like, "No, fuck you. I don't know anything about politics. That freaks me out."
I don't even know what you're
I don't
talking about. I don't even
know-
know what's happening.
Remember, I told you that it's
I
Biden and that lady, and then Trump.
The black one? You talking about the vice president?
No,
You're talking about
Kamala
AOC?
Harris?
what did Julian just say?
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Who got it?
No, the other Democrat running against Biden.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
I don't know this other Democrat. Right? They're not gaining. I mean, I'm not to say I've been keeping up as well. I thought there was another guy who was like just another Biden.
All the Republicans dropped out. Trump is the official Republican
Okay.
Party candidate.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Democratic vote is going to be split between fucking
Well, no,
Biden
the
and
Democratic
a different
So is someone
lady.
running as an independent?
No, she's running as a Democrat.
You can't, Megan. The Democratic Party picks one person. You can't. The Democratic Party isn't going to have two
I
Democratic
thought
parties.
that too, but
That's
I don't
not
know.
how it works. No, they're probably still just having their. It's called the primaries.
What she would say is, I don't know if they're still having the primaries, but it would probably just be more to showcase a leftist allegiance. I totally. What is it? It both can be true that she favors the Democratic Party, but is also not sponsored by the Democratic Party because
Which would make her an independent.
Megan, I agree with what is it? Yeah, she would. The Democratic Party is not going to give her any money to run her as president.
Or say that she is the Democratic candidate.
No, they would not say that.
So they're not. The Democratic Party itself.
When
is
you
not
say,
being
I don't
split.
know, I just think like sometimes I feel like this is like an instance where we're hung up on semantics because she is running as a Democrat. Yes, the Democratic Party, she's not gonna take a significant portion of the vote, and she's certainly not gonna take a significant portion of the Democratic money. But like, yes, she is running as a Democrat. You know, it's not like I don't think this is going to get Trump reelected. I actually think there's a way bigger split going inside the Republican Party right now.
Oh, so we have nothing to worry about. Look at you.
I think that I don't feel
she
like
dropped out. Okay, thank God. When I checked,
Marianne Williamson, is that her?
yeah,
Never heard of her.
that was her. She was also
You can show her on camera if you want, but like, I would say for me, no, I actually think the Republicans are going under a way bigger split. There's like I think it's like 5 or 10% of the Republican Party who would describe as never Trumpers, who are not going to vote for Donald Trump because they are conservative in their values enough to think that Trump undermines the whole constitutional system, which I agree with. So I think that there are a lot of never Trumpers. The only thing I'm worried about is this is the thing that stops me from voting for Biden is that, or not stops me. I've thought about voting, about not voting in this state because it's not going to matter, or voting like protest voting. I've thought about because this is a decent state to do it in. Good to show the Democratic Party that its youth voter base will not be with it on the next election if they don't change up their tone. But no, it's all the Palestine stuff. It's fucking ridiculous. Maybe it's just because it's the first one that I've been like an adult and had an adult level of empathy for. But I'm like fucking like I'm furious. Better stop now. Julian's in the mix. But it's like nothing has made me more upset politically than that whole debacle. I don't know if you.
I think it's really interesting.
Whole debacle, but yes.
I find it really interesting that a lot of most major political lines or political separations in America can be defined as Republican or Democrat, left or right. And the Israel-Palestine conflict is the one thing that really cuts like perpendicular across party lines.
I wouldn't say
there's
one
people,
thing, but yeah.
What else?
The couple. I mean, I'm getting to my poli-sci shit here, but it's like charter schools.
Okay.
It take me forever.
That's not as big as a.
It's not as topical, certainly.
Yeah, or not even as big of an ordeal, or not as big of a topic in society. In America.
It's not pressing like people were shot today and are going to be shot tomorrow. No,
I more meant like I don't think I've ever seen a charter school protest. I'm sure they exist.
Yeah.
I see a lot of Israel-Palestine.
Well, no, I guess
protests.
yeah, fair enough. No, it's less
Like a private school.
kind of like a private. So it's basically like, no, there's a bunch of oh my God, we could go into it forever. But like, oh my God,
Is it the same as a private school kind of?
It's similar. So basically it's like your property taxes pay for your school, right?
And so rather the government should give you money to pick what
are
school you
saying
go to?
that, yes, so that the government should give you a voucher to send your child to one of several schools. And people are really split on this because this is a bit more of a conservative thing, traditionally in a lot of ways of like, you know, defund broken public systems and give money back to private institutions. But it's also a thing that is really appreciated by non-white groups, is charter schools. Because if you're black in America, you have a really bad chance of getting into a good school, and a charter school might be your way to fucking get out of that. So there's that's one that I think of as really being split too. It's like, even I, a person who's quite biased and in favor of a lot of different things politically and who knows where they stand, does not know where they stand on charter schools.
Okay, interesting. I concede that point to you.
Not as high stakes.
But I guess that's a fine way of putting it. From a more casual point of view, from someone who's not as deep into politics, that's the first thing that stood out to me as something that is incredibly vitalic.
Vitreous is what I would,
whatever.
Like full of vitriol.
Yeah, sure. But not necessarily along party lines, and I found that really fascinating. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know what you were talking about before. You want to go back into buttons?
Yes, buttons. That would be lovely.
Okay, the second button is
Megan, I feel like if you want me to come in and agree with you on these things, you gotta like let me ramble for 20 minutes, dog. Like there's if you just want to like sit there and be
40.
Zach's little like 50s like abuse victim or whatever, that's fine. That's fine if that's your choice. But if you want like me to chime in with the correct opinion, you gotta like let me get to it, man. Keep going. Button number 2.
You're Megan. Miss. Oh, what the fuck's your last? Senator Brown. 15 seconds to respond. Sorry, I was trying to do like the political cut. Sorry. Anyway. So second button is William McKinley from 1869, also with my man's face on it.
Man, I didn't think I had a lot of neck I'm feeling great about the amount of neck I got.
And it's really cool. It has the copyright, the patent dates on the back from obviously before when it was printed, but very, very, very cool. There you go, Julian. Those two are my absolute
less
favorites.
faded. This one is like super bright and vivid.
Yeah, it's all about how it was stored, right?
It's also interesting.
For
This is probably like
quarter years.
how much more would this be if this were a Taft button? Like it's purely just because of his what is it? It's because of McKinley's like he's not as doesn't have as much fame.
Culturally significant. Yeah.
As culturally significant.
Yeah.
Oh, what I was going to talk to you about earlier was hard and soft power, but we'll do that in another episode. Because it was Teddy Roosevelt. His quote, "Speak softly but carry a big stick," that relates to hard and soft power, geopolitics. Long discussion.
What would my next one be? I guess I'll keep doing political campaign stuff. I thought this one was funny. I'll just show it. Whatever. It was a George Bush. It was
I just love Cheney.
Bush Cheney. Look at Cheney's old face, dude.
Look at their friends.
They're
They
buddies.
love each other. You guys.
Oh, right choice, my boy. I thought it would be funny to just come in here wearing this. Just wearing a Bush Cheney.
That should be Jesse's birthday present, man. You're gonna hit it out of the park 2 birthdays in a row. Like you'd love that.
I don't have any
Jesse
Bush Cheney
called
merch.
me up and he was like, "Did you
Yep,
hear about
yep.
those Trump shoes? We should buy some." And I was like, "What?" And then I learned later they were like $400, and he was like, "We can split it." And I was like, "No, man, that's not how you start a video pitch." Zach, you start a video pitch with, "I'll pay for everything." That's a great video pitch. Do you want to spend $250 on these sneakers where the money will go to one of the most repugnant causes you can think of? Yeah, Jesse, I do.
And then I
me.
got 2. Oh man, the lighting is dog shit on this one. You can't really see that one. It's really dark. Where's it's a Hoover button. This one, Megan.
For a
was
second,
really
I thought it
into
was a
this
pride flag. I thought it was like.
And then a second Hoover one. This one's busted on the back. Doesn't actually have the clip, but I just like the metallic feel of it all.
Let me see the. I'm going to see the Hoover Dam.
Oh,
So,
overrated.
Oh, did you go to see it?
Yeah. Oh, remember when we were doing the Vape Nation off, and I went to.
Oh yeah. You went to Las Vegas. That should be a thing. We should talk about that in its own dedicated thing. I feel like
I've thought about compiling all of it and then submitting it to their podcast.
did a thing that would be pretty funny.
Just to see if they even acknowledge. It's cool to be acknowledged by people that are way more famous than you.
Yeah, I know, right? You should
Scooch to the right a tiny bit.
Oh,
sorry.
never mind. I feel like we could illustrate these photos. It was so funny that we were both on vacation while we were doing that. That was awesome.
Great timing.
That was perfect. Yeah, I know. You were like Trump Tower, and then I was like, no, what was it? I was like Eiffel Tower, and then
You did Eiffel Tower
Trump
first. You
Tower.
start. No, I did Grand Canyon first.
You
I
did
think.
You did Grand Canyon, and I was like, fuck it, bitch. And then I did Eiffel Tower, and then I think you did Trump Tower. So
Then you did 3 countries or something
I
like
did
that.
3 countries in one day,
And I did
then
2
you
hookers.
did with 2 hookers, and then I did with a homeless woman while
You
giving
did?
her money. Yeah,
Oh no, that was the response to Trump.
that was the
That was the
response.
response
It's
to
like
Trump.
I care about people, Zach.
Yeah, that was really good.
It was so funny. I was like, hey, if I give you 20 euros, will you like be in this stupid ass fucking photo with me? And she was like, fuck yeah.
He's like, I would do way more for 20 euros.
She was like, oh, a non-dick sucking offer? Hell yeah. Like she was hyped. By the way, Megan, I'm sorry. You don't have to agree with me to like disagree with Zach. You know, you can just disagree with Zach.
You called me a 1950s housewife.
I called you a 1950s abuse victim.
And she has to go to work,
And
so
I
that's
don't
not accurate.
like that.
Well,
I didn't like that, Julian.
you're not, Megan.
You're in my book.
What
Your
the fuck?
book?
You have a book?
I'm just kidding.
Oh
You-
no,
you're
I'm definitely
Nixon
at the
book?
top of that book.
Yeah, there's no way. You're telling me that put me at what? Not number 1, I hope. Oh my God. This is like
Watch out.
I was like, yeah, Megan, you gotta feel some support in this route. That was only $8 for the Hoover medal thing.
Right?
That's kind of wild.
No, for sure. There's a couple things like this. This isn't that cool. I was actually gonna say you could have this if you want. He had a 1902 Indian penny for $3. It's not in very good condition, but it was $3 and it's 120 years old.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I like having stuff like that to give to my nieces and nephews if I ever it's cool to have like stuff that they think is badass, but in reality was like $5.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is it just like, yeah, you're showing this to like a kid who's like, wow, it's sold. Like, you can have this one. Let's start your interest into history.
Yeah. It is totally me
Did
pushing my own interest.
Did someone do that for you? Was there like an adult man who was like, here's your first piece, and now you're hooked to this day? An adult man who was like, first one's free, motherfucker. Here you go. Happy lifelong
Your uncle
addiction.
gave you some cool stuff, baby, right? That cool coin that you're not sure if it's like legit.
Oh no, he died, Megan. That was like one of the things I got from him when he died. No, I got like a box of his stuff.
Ooh,
and that was inside of
Also, how are you gonna have nieces and nephews? You don't have any. Sorry,
cousins. My bad.
Okay.
Little cousin. But basically, Maddie and Brody. That's the entire. When I say cousins, I mean the two cousins.
And I was like, "Are you waiting for my sisters to have kids?"
Sorry. My bad.
What the fuck you're talking about?
I'm what's it called? No, there's a word for it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And then the next one, this person never actually won. Actually, I'll do Jesse Jackson I'll do both of them. These are both. I say just, that sounds fucked up. They are.
Oh man, you got a Shirley Chisholm? That's awesome.
Isn't it awesome? And look, dude.
I don't know who that is.
Oh, yes, she was my understanding, she's the first African American to be elected to the National Congress.
Oh, well, now I feel kind of bad that I so ironically disparaged how non-notable she was to me personally. That's badass.
And she ran for president, and I love. There were two Shirley Chisholm one.
She's like a Bernie. She's like their Bernie. Unbought, unbound. Unbought and unbossed. That's fucking Bernie all the way, baby. Chisholm. That's Bernie.
Cool.
What did the other one say? Catalyst for change?
A catalyst for change, but I thought unbought and unbossed was much more badass and symbolic.
So much more badass. A catalyst for change is like so.
Are you mocking me? I feel like you're
no. I'm
underhanded comment.
No. I feel like after the Shirley Chisholm thing, after you bought into that, you fucking idiot. I understand why you can't take anything I say seriously, but no, I was being genuine on that one.
And Jesse Jackson is just another what's the word for it?
I've heard about Jesse Jackson before.
Another civil rights activist that tried running for president.
I believe I know who Jesse Jackson is, and not in any meaningful way, but I've heard the name before.
Yeah. Well, isn't Jesse Jackson also the name? Oh, I'm thinking of Jesse Lee Peterson. Never mind. I was gonna say also the right. I saw it at first. I was like, that can't be the same guy, right? And now remembering the actual name, completely different guy. Not even. I assume you don't need to see those. These ones are these are called wooden nickels, and this is another thing I really like. I like old coins. I like political buttons, and I also really like. They're called wooden nickels, but more broadly, they're tokens that would be used as trade-in value. For example, I have tokens from Fred Meyer that'll be like 25 cents worth in trade, or like I have a token that was given away by Speedo shops for one free Speedo. I like stuff like that where like you'd use, rather than actual national currency, companies used to give out tokens or coins to say, hey, this is worth X, Y, and Z at my company. I really like that stuff. And so they had a bunch of bar-related wooden nickels from various cities in the Puget Sound area. This one is from Smoky Point.
That's actually pretty cool.
Then we have the Tavern Hub in Concrete, Washington. Concrete, Washington's significant to Megan and I because our first little vacation that we went on was to Winthrop, Washington, and we stopped in the town of Concrete at a swap meet and bought some cool stuff. It's actually Concrete's the swap meet that I bought my Morse code thingy. Have I shown you that?
Showed me your Telegram.
I'll show you that.
Machine.
It's very. Oh, it's not a whole machine. It's just the thing you connect wires to. Either way, very cool. And also, I got to work at the school in Concrete. So Concrete's just a really weird. I should say it's a really obscure small town that I happen to have been to on multiple occasions. That one specifically stood out to me. This one's super cool. This one's my favorite. 5 wooden nickels, which is cool because rather than having a wooden nickel or saying a wooden quarter, money was so valuable back then that rather than referring to it as a quarter of a dollar or a quarter, they referred to it as 5 nickels.
It's like,
I find that really
man,
fascinating.
that is
And also,
payday, baby.
double cool because rather than a bar, it's for a pizza joint in Seattle. And I find that very, very cool. Good for 25
Have you looked
cents.
up if any of these places are still open?
I got home and scrambled to get the set together. I didn't do. When I tell you I've been really pressed for time, I haven't done shit.
No, I was gonna say this is like a good retrospective. Maybe I'll do it with the footage, but like, just are any of these places still open? Go redeem. They probably not.
Right. Probably.
But to redeem one actually would be pretty cool.
I think keeping it's cooler.
Well, I think it's cooler if you have like the video evidence of I redeemed.
Okay,
a beer.
sure. Yeah, like 50-year-old.
If you make the memory of it, then
You're
I think
right,
it's
right.
cool. But yeah.
This is just another bar. Good for one bottle, but I think this one's beautiful because compared to most wooden nickels where they're just like, these aren't actually even wooden. Or maybe they are. Okay, they're wooden, but it's more like a cardboardy. Like, it's not like it's cut out of a tree. It's like some kind of fabricated wood, whereas these are almost like poker chips.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very cool. I have, and this one's going to be really hard to read, but 1 Alp 10 cents in trade, and once again looks like more of a poker chip than a wooden nickel. I think that's very cool. Yeah, right. Well, especially the ridges around the outside. But yeah, I think trade-in value. I like trade-in value tokens from companies specifically in the Seattle area. There were some from other areas that I didn't think were as cool. And then the last thing I have that I'm going to let you look at. Oh, wait, there's more things in here? Okay. Another wooden token.
You really get what you mean
Wooden
when you
nickel.
say you can't control yourself around these things.
From the World's Fair, right?
Oh, okay. Is that what that's from?
Yeah.
20th century Seattle.
That's the year the World's Fair was.
Good
That's
for the
actually
luxe
pretty sick.
laundering of one shirt. I think. Yep. Isn't that silly, right?
I know, it's funny that you would
Give a token for rather than just not paying for it.
yeah.
You'd
Rather
buy
just be like, I know this guy. Yeah, I'll do your shirt, man.
I almost think maybe it was used rather than giving refunds. Maybe you'd give them this is store credit in a way.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think that's got to be what it's.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
for.
there was no computerized system that you could partially lean on it all the time. Like, you had high volume, so this was the way to ensure that you could keep people honest even during high volume times.
So this, I actually think I already have one of these, Megan. After thinking about, I think I bought one of these in Pike Place. It's a commemorative coin from the Seattle World's Fair.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure I already have one of those.
Is it an actual U.S. currency or is it just...
No, it's just it's a
Gotcha.
souvenir.
Yeah.
This is really cool. A Seattle World's Fair commemorative button that's just beautiful. It's got a lot of color on it. I love the coloring on the back. And I love Seattle-based stuff just because it's significant to me.
That's really cool, actually. I like that a lot. I like that I don't know if the art is meant to make it look like it's raining, but I like that a lot.
I didn't even think of that.
It's like our oldest joke. It fucking rains a lot here. But it still kills, all the time. We're like, yeah, I know.
And these are really cool. These are smashed pennies. These are going to be really rough to read. Smashed pennies from the World Fair as well. This one reads, they're slightly different, and I was kind of a snob with buying both of them, but this one says the space age on the right-hand side,
Yeah.
and this one doesn't. And I found that significant enough.
Oh, and the monorail.
In the monorail, yeah.
I know, right? That's going to be our thing. Man, you guys, didn't that change the way that we all get around town from Westlake Center to Seattle Center? Or, man, wouldn't that have been different if you didn't have to pay $15 fucking dollars?
Well, you know what
to
I think they
travel
should have done?
10 blocks. Yes.
No one cares about the Westlake Mall. The Seattle Center monorail should have gone to Pike Place. If it went to Pike Place,
Which
it'd
it
get used all
almost
the time.
does, but it doesn't.
Yeah, it almost does, but it doesn't. But those are the two. Maybe the only thing it was Pike
enough.
Place not that big in the 1960s. Was it not like?
Maybe it was more of just what is it? We've got the mall, and then there's this silly little fucking farmer's market out back, was
Right.
maybe the understanding. back
Well,
then
and
or
it's
something.
almost like people thought that they were going to use the monorail for actual commuting.
Did you throw it, Chuck? Did you chuck it?
Fuck yeah.
Because if you're looking at it from a commuter's perspective, it could kind of make sense to park around Seattle Center, and then the monorail takes you into like downtown, the business sector of Seattle. So I could see that, but it's purely like, it's just a novelty. Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's going to be good for audio.
Yeah, right. And this, I thought about giving this to you, but I'm going to keep it myself.
Keep it yourself.
It's a copper ashtray from the Chicago's World Fair in 1933.
Oh.
I think it's super badass. I'll read the back or the front. I'll try to get it in focus.
I see. It's the same. It's the same thing. How I thought about. Yeah, I should just bring it to the set. Honestly.
Put it in focus, I'll read it.
Century. Oh well, can you read it? I don't think
Yeah,
it's.
I can. Century of Progress, Chicago, 1988.
No, nope.
If you felt bad, if you got me a good enough
1933.
birthday present that I felt bad about it, I'd have to give you my ancient Roman brick. The thing I've thought about giving to you multiple times
It's not that
because
cool.
you'll appreciate it. Oh, it's not that cool.
No. I'm not your brick. The thing I got you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Oh, that. Yeah. That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Good.
What's the bottom say? Oh, Plymouth. I know it was related to some car brand. Plymouth something Chrysler. Sorry, it's hard to make out. I need a magnifying glass. Oh, I can almost read it on the back easier. Too bad it's backwards on the back. But either way, very, very cool. I have we have a vintage cigar box that we keep, or more so Megan keeps joints in.
Yeah.
And I
That's
thought
the best place to keep. That's the best place to keep drugs, in a cigar box.
and not that I would ever want someone to use this, but we have that kind of coffee table over there that I keep a lot of cool older stuff on.
Yeah.
And I thought this was a really cool addition.
What building is that supposed to be?
I would have to research it more.
I used to live in Illinois.
It's probably significant to the World's Fair. I mean, they built the Space Needle for this Space Needle for the Seattle one, so I wouldn't be surprised if they built.
Wait, can we look at my teapot?
Oh yeah. So this teapot over here is from 1941, and it was used in an actual. There was a slightly fancier one from the same time period, but the reason that
Show the lid.
the reason
Look at the way the lid is the other side.
the reason that this one is so cool is
That one's
because it's from an actual. It was actually utilized in a cafe. And so, in the same idea of where I was in the same strain of thought where I was talking about rare coins versus culturally significant coins or historically significant coins, that teapot is especially special because it was used in a more day-to-day environment in the same capacity as like a Denny's or an IHOP.
Well, it is a mass-produced piece of glassware called like chefware, and on the bottom you can see it says 41.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love back when that was all the information you needed. Like, that's very but back when like a computer couldn't fake it all, and you were like 41, there's only one thing that could mean. That's the year it was made. That's not like the serial. It's just simple. I romanticize the simplicity of just being like, yeah, that's what fucking year it was.
Well, that was fun. I got to just indulge in the thing I like.
Just fucking. We started off jerking it and we ended it jerking it. That's what I like.
And that can be the end of this
Oh wait,
episode.
but first, if you watched up until this point, I think that's a great tagline. Actually, I'm just gonna steal your tagline for everything. If you watched up until this point, why aren't you subscribed? Seriously.
There we go.
Look at the bird. Look at how much access to bird.
Yeah.
How much access to bird do you have in your daily other fucking podcast? How many birds does Ethan Klein give you on set? Very few, I imagine. So Chucklehead.
He's going, bro. Holy
Chucklehead,
shit.
subscribe.
Woo! Chucky!
Or Chucky Heads. Chucky Heads also subscribe.
That works. Chuck.
It sounds like we named the bird after the podcast. We didn't. Okay, I just want you guys. The bird came first. We weren't like such big fans of ourselves that we wanted to like push that onto a whole animal.
Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that dude. I am that. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. Don't stop, we go straight to the top. And we all going together.